Very good afternoon, friends. And in this video, we are going to discuss about the binomial expansion, and this is the part 2 of the video. Now, here we are going to discuss about the expansion where there is a minus sign in between. So it goes like this. So you get the terms like nc0 x to the power n and a to the power 0 minus nc1 x to the power n minus 1 a to the power 1 plus nc2 x to the power n minus 2 a to the power 2 minus nc3 x to the power n minus 3 a to the power 3 plus dot dot dot, and then I write the general term. So what will be the sign? Because this alternatively this is positive positive negative. So we do not know what will be the appropriate side for the sign for the nth term, rth term. So I write this as minus 1 to the power r and ncr x to the power n minus r and a to the power r. Then I simply go to find out the value of my nth term, that is, again, what will be the sign of this nth term? We do not know. So we'll write here plus, and then we'll write minus 1 to the power n, ncn, x to the power 0, and a to the power n. This is the term for the negative term here. It's negative in between, like x minus a, the difference of two monomials, you can say, but actually it is also binomial, because binomial can be x plus a or x minus a something, x plus something, two terms. So here is negative term. Now the general term, first I write the summation form, that is x minus a whole to the power n is minus 1 to the power r, or by r here. I write here summation minus 1 to the power r is 0 to n, and then x to the power n minus r, a to the power r. So now if you write r0 here, so minus 1 to the power 0 is plus 1, and then x to the power 1 is 3. Now the next time when you write x to the power 1, r is 1. So r is 1, so minus 1 to the power 1. So minus 1 to the power odd number is negative. Again when you write r is 2, so minus 1 to the power even number positive, minus 1, because alternatively r's value, because starting from here, this is r is 0, this is r1, r2, r3, r4. So r will be alternatively changing its value from the even to odd to even, like that. And wherever there will be the even power, like a to the power 1 negative, a to the power 3 negative. If a to the power r here, if suppose in this case if r is odd number, this will become negative term, otherwise this is positive term, depending on the same thing, because we do not know what is going to be the value of n. And one more enlightening point is that if the index here is power is n, then the total number of expansions after this you'll get as n plus 1. So n plus 1 is total number of terms. Total number of terms in the expansion of power n will be n plus 1. Like if there is power 3, so you'll get 4 terms. If it is power 5, you'll get 6 terms. If power 100, you'll get 101 terms. And this is the total number of terms. So this is for the negative coefficients. And the general term in this expression will be tr plus 1, that is minus 1 whole to the power r ncr x to the power n minus r a to the power r. This is called the general term. So if you have the general term, you can find any term directly. So let me clean my screen, and then again I'll explain you the whole idea with the help of a suitable example. So if you have a term like x cube minus 2 upon x square to the power 17. So if you want to find directly the 14th term or any particular term without just expanding it, then how you do that? So just I showed a little earlier that the general term in this kind of expression where there is a minus sign between them is t r plus 1 minus 1 to the power r ncr x, that is first term, to the power n minus r into a, that is second term, to the power r. So here if I try to find the general term based on this formula for this particular expression, then I'll have my general term tr plus 1 is minus 1 to the power r, then ncr, that is 17cr, and then x to the power, so x is the first term, x cubed to the power 17 minus r into a, that is 2 over x square, 2 over x square to the power r. Then this is your general term. Now I want to simplify it a little further. Then here I find it as minus 1 to the power r, 17 cr, x to the power, using indices, multiply these two, 51 minus 3r, and this is 2 to the power r upon x to the power 2r. So if I just try to consolidate like this, bringing this x things together, then this one will look like minus 1 to the power r, 17 cr, x to the power 51 minus 3r minus 2r will become 51 minus 5r, and then into 2 to the power r. This is our general term. Suppose if you are interested in finding the 14th term, then you write r as 13, because general term having the this subscript or sub indices, you can say, is r plus 1. So I have to make 14 times to find the 14th term. So I'll take r as 13. So if I use r as 14, then I'll 13. So r is 13. This term will become 14. So what I'll get? Minus 1 to the power r, that is 13. 17c 13. X to the power 51 minus 5 into 3, 5 into 13, that is 65, and 2 to the power 13. So this is the value, the coefficient of minus 1 to the power 13, 17c 13, 2 to the power 13 into x to the power minus 1 4. So the coefficient for this term is x to the power minus 14, or you can say the coefficient of x to the power minus 14 is this, or the power of the x in this expansions of like the 14th term will have the x as on the x is minus 14. So this is the general term. By using this general term, you can directly find the value of any terms without just expanding. Because who is going to expand 17 times? Just a waste of time. So here, if I say if I want to find the third term, then I just simply put r as 2, because here this general term. So you see this general term. So if you put r is 0, you get the first term. If you put r as 1, you get your second term. If you put r as n minus 1, then you get your nth term. So this is the simple idea for this. Now I want to take another example with the positive sign here, just to explain you the idea and the power of this rth term before solving any example. So just let me clear my mess, and then I'll come back to you in just 5. Okay, now here I take another example where I'll be expanding something of the kind 1 plus x whole to the power n. Then you see directly that I write this as the summation form. R is 0 to n, and then this will be just x to the power r, because this value is always going to be same, but we need the coefficient also. So it is ncr x to the power r. So if I expand, then I get nc0 x to the power n plus, sorry, I can take it nc0, so x to the power 0, no problem. nc1, this is nc1x plus nc2 x square plus dot 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 ncr x to the power r plus dot 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 ncn x to the power n, and the rth term in this expansion will be tr plus 1 will be ncr x to the power r, and total number of terms, again the power is n, so the total number of terms is going to be n plus 1. So if you want to find this any term directly, like suppose, okay, so here I'm going to discuss now the term called general term. So even numbers like the power of n. So three important things there. Like suppose if the index is n, then the total number of terms in the expansion is n plus 1. And then here if I go for n, so I find n plus 1 terms. So which one will be the middle term? Just by category. Suppose if I have some odd numbers like 5, then I'll get 6 terms. If I have 7, then I get 8 terms. Then how will you find which term is the middle term? Because it is simple idea that when the number of terms are even, number of terms, like when this is even, when n is even, the total number of terms will become odd, because even plus 1 will be odd. Total terms, total terms will be n plus 1, and that is odd. So if you have the odd number of terms, the middle one is just one more and divided by 2. Like suppose if I go for, if I take this one as 7 and then this is 8. Suppose if I take here as 9, then I get 10 and then I get 11. So this is my case. N is even. This is my even number. I am getting the number of terms as odd. Then which term will be the middle term? So this will be just 11 plus 1 by 2. So the middle term will be n, this is n plus 1, and then I have to find further n plus 1. So it will become n plus 2 by 2. Now you can say how? Because this is not any case, any special formula or something like that. If you see there, suppose if you have two terms or two, just suppose two balls, then the what is the where is the middle value located? So you can say in between these two. So here we say this is also the middle term, this is also the middle term. When you have the three balls, 1 2 3, which one is at the middle? So it means the second one is the middle. So what you see here, that the n is 3, then the second one is middle, means 3 plus 1 4 by 2. So we call it as n plus 1 by 2. But if you take n as the total number of terms, then only this is the case. Because if n is the index here, then the total number of terms will become n plus 1 plus 1, that is n plus 2 by 2. So this way also you can see. So the middle term will be n plus 2 by 2. And when n is odd, like this 5, so you'll get total 6 terms. And when you have the even number here, the term will be just half of that, means third. Here 6 half is third, just you see 6 balls, 1 2 3 4 5 6. So this is the middle one and this is the middle one. So this is 1 2 3 4 5 6 balls. So the third and fourth are the middle one. Then this is n plus 1 and this n plus 1 is 6. So you can write n plus 1 by 2. How to get 4? You can write n plus 3 by 2. So total number of terms, total terms is n plus 1, and this time it will become even. Then the middle term will be n plus 1 by 2 and n plus 3 by 2. So using these methods you can find the middle term and then using the general term you can directly find the middle term and without any wastage of time. This is the power of the binomial theorem. Thank you very much. Just keep on watching our videos and practicing with us, and then you will learn a great deal about the mathematics. Have a very nice time.